Welcome to Spain's fourth biggest city and one of its most beautiful. Our film will take you around the city and introduce you to the sights you have to see, and it's all very walkable. The city is compact, but one of the best ways to get your bearings is by going to the Metropole Parasol, or as the locals call it, Las Setas. This wooden structure was completed in 2011 at a cost of €100 million and consists of 6 parasols in the form of giant mushrooms. A €3 ride to the top will give you a great view and a free drink. Then head down to the historic neighbourhood of Santa Cruz, formerly the Jewish quarter and home to the Alcazar. A royal palace originally developed by the Moorish Muslim kings. Construction started in 1181 and continued for the next 500 years. It's the oldest palace still in use in Europe. It's a massive complex bringing together several palaces and structures and 7 hectares of gardens. Make sure you get an audio or a real guide so you don't miss out on the exotic and historic interiors and the magnificent gardens. Next stop is over to the Plaza de España in the Maria Luisa Park. The plaza was built as a grand office to support the 1929 Expedición Iberoamericana and is a mix of diverse historic styles such as Art Deco and Mock Mujahar. In preparation for the exhibition, the entire southern end of the city was redeveloped into an expanse of gardens and grand boulevards, with the centre being the lovely Parque de Maria Luisa. Here you will find a half-mile of fountains, pavilions, ponds and benches, and a very lush mix of palm, orange trees, Mediterranean pines and colourful flower beds. Close by are 2 contrasting museums. The first is the Archaeological Museum, housed in one of the pavilions designed by Aníbal González for the 1929 Expedición. The basement holds treasure and the other floors contain a range of magnificent Roman artifacts, mosaics, statues and busts of emperors. Opposite is the Museum of Arts and Traditions of Seville. Originally part of the exposition, the modern-day museum has had a bit of a checkered history with openings and closures, but it does really give you a good view of local craftsmanship. Triana is a neighbourhood and district on the west bank of the river. We love to go early on a Sunday morning and just walk through the streets admiring the colours of the buildings. Triana was traditionally populated by sailors and potters, bullfighters and flamenco dancers, and is well known for its traditional pottery and tile industry and flamenco culture. You can walk through the streets just away from the river, and then on Sunday morning visit the local arts and crafts market on the river bank. Just up from Triana is La Cartuja, home to the famous monastery and the Andalusian Contemporary Art Centre. Created in 1990, the aim of the centre has been to promote artistic creation in many forms, and there will be something for all tastes. If, on the other hand, your tastes are a bit more traditional, then why not head to the Museum of Fine Arts or Bellas Artes de Seville. On Sunday mornings you can begin by admiring the work of local artists presented outside the museum, before you enter and appreciate the more historical pieces. The museum houses works from the medieval period to the 20th century, including work by the so-called Golden Age of Sevillian painting during the 17th century. And now for something completely different, a visit to the Plaza de Toros, built and amended over 2 centuries and now offering a dramatic Sunday spectacle for 12,000 people. The regular season goes from March or April to the end of September, and tickets are in great demand. If you can't get a ticket, or you're curious but not compelled by the rather more brutal action, then why not visit the museum and have a guided tour through the various stages of the bullfight. You will see homage paid in the museum to the matador and, on occasions, the bull. One of the most popular attractions in Seville is the cathedral, which is the largest Gothic cathedral in the world and the 3rd largest church, with 15 doors on 4 facades, all heavily adorned with symbols and artistry to commemorate people and religious events. Completed in the early 16th century, the interior has the longest nave of any cathedral in Spain. It is also the burial site of Christopher Columbus. La Giralda is the bell tower of the cathedral with a height of 105 metres. It's a former minaret of a mosque that stood on the site under Muslim rule. It has a pretty gentle ascent with shallow but many steps, taking about 15 to 20 minutes to get to the top, but don't be put off, it's a great view. The central district is packed with shops, restaurants and bars, offering a diversion from our historical tour. Narrow streets with their cloth awnings offer much relief from the intense and very hot Seville sun. A walk beyond the central area takes you to the Alameda de Hercules or the Hercules Mall. This is a garden square built in 1574 as a promenaded public garden, the oldest in Spain and Europe. Next to the Alameda lies the Macarena district, covering the northeastern area of the old city up to the Moorish city walls. Once the poorest slum in Spain, it's now been restored and smartened up with many churches to visit, palaces and plazas. And like many cities, one of the most fascinating things is just to admire street performers. And so the sun sets on Seville, but this only opens up another part of life, beginning at 10 o'clock with dinner and then going on late into the night with much dancing and drinking. It's a fantastic city.